Dear learners, this is Diponkor Datta, lecturer in English, Anandamohan College, Mymensingh. Today, I am discussing a poem, The Road Not Taken, written by Robert Frost. Before going to the text, let's see the title of the poem, The Road Not Taken. In this title, the word road symbolizes life, that's mean choice of life. Robert Frost was born on 26 March 1874 and died on 29th January 1963 in USA. Actually, he was an American poet and he was known for his realistic depiction of life and his poems published in England before America. He got the Pulitzer Award for his poetry, and in USA he was known as a poet of laureate. Robert Frost wrote many famous books. Among these books, these are praiseworthy. Suppose North of Boston, which was published in 1914, Boy's Will was published in 1915, and Mountain Interval, which was published in 1916. The Road Not Taken was the first poem of this book, The Mountain Interval. For your better understanding, you have to know that Robert Frost had a problem in his life. He had to take a proper decision or suggestion in life, but he didn't get to help from others. Either he had to take his profession as a poet or a farmer. Finally, he had to take a decision in his life as a profession of poet and reached his destination and gained success. Then moves to the poem. The Road Not Taken. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry, I could not travel both, and be one traveller. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could to where it went in the undergrowth. In this stanza, yellow means the season of autumn. In the autumnal season, the dead leaves fall on this road. So, the poet says that in a jungle there are two roads, and both the roads go into different directions. The poet says, and be one traveller, long I stood. That means the poet feels sorry because he cannot travel both the roads, and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. These lines mean the poet looked down one as far as he could, and the roots bent into the deep forest. Here, undergrowth means deep forest. Then Moving to the second stanza. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted where, though as for that the passing there had owned them really about the same. In this stanza, the phrase as just as fair has multiple meanings. Here, the poet wants to say that the road is beautiful as well, or the road is to be fair, and choices of the particular option or suggestion. Because it was grassy and wanted where, these lines means that the poet chose this route. Actually, it's better for him because this road was grassy and the fresh grass grown on it and was not much. Though as for that, the passing there had owned them really about the same. These lines represent when a traveler traveled through this route, he found that many passerby or traveler were going through this road just as much as other. Then going to the third stanza. And both the morning equally lay, in leaves no step have trodden black. Ah, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to a way, I doubted if I should ever come back. The third stanza represents that both the road were covered with leaves, and perhaps on that morning the poet was the first traveler to traveling on this road, as the leaves had fallen, had not turned black by the steps of the traveler. Ah, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. Here, the poet regrets his decision, slightly wondering if he will ever get to come back and take the other road. Then, last stanza. I shall be telling with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence, two words diverged in a ode, and I took the one less travelled by, and that was made all the difference. Actually, this stanza represents the choice of life. The choice may be right or wrong. Actually, if the choice is right, it proves out that it will be a sigh of happiness, and the choice is wrong, it also proves out that it will be a sigh of sadness. And two roads diverged in a ode, and I took the less travelled by. These lines actually represent the first stanza, because a traveler just reached at a point where two roads were diverged, and finally he took the one road, this is less travelled, and reached his destination and gained success, and this success has changed his life. Actually, these lines represents that every man needs to take a particular decision, and this decision may be easy or hard. To take this decision, a man has to be thoughtful. So a single decision can change a man's life. Then now let's see the word notes of the poem. Suppose road means life, fair means good as other, claim means better option, glassy, unused, wanted to wear, had not used, trodden, walked over, hence future. Then moving to the poetic devices. First one is rhyme scheme. Actually, it's very difficult for the students. Most of the students didn't know how to find out the rhyme scheme. Here I have written the last words of the 5th lines of the first stanza. Suppose would, both, stood, could, undergrowth. Look at these words. Could, that means a. Would is rhyming with stood and could. So I is rhyming with stood, could, a and a. In the second line, the last word is both. Rhyming is B. The B is rhyming with undergrowth. That means B. So the rhyme scheme of the poem is A B A B. Then going to the another poetic device, symbolism. Symbolism means one thing stands for another things. Here root symbolizes life. Then going to the another poetic device, anaphora. Anaphora actually is a poetic technique which is used by the poet. Suppose and. Just look at this. Look at the first stanza of your poem. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry, I could not travel both, and be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could. In the first stanza, and is the beginning word of the second line, third line, and fourth lines. So it is anaphora. Then alliteration. Alliteration means the initial of the consonant sound is used repeatedly. Suppose wanted and where. The wanted, the sound is wa, where, like wa. The wa sound is repeated twice, like fair and for. Then repetition. Repetitions means the repeated words which are used in the poem. Suppose ages and two roads. Then I hope you have understood the poem well. If you face problem, then inbox me. I'll try to my level best to solve this problem. Stay home and maintain hygiene and social distance and use masks. That's all. Thanks to all.